Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Jay, and this is ASMR World News. On today's episode, we are going to be doing a review of the film Britney Runs a Marathon. As you all know, these reviews are different than normal. They are much more free-flowing and funny, witty, and so on. But regardless of that, let us begin the review. So, as before, here's my review of Britney Runs a Marathon. Now then, let's start off with initial thoughts. Looking at this film in the Amazon search bar, I was interested because I noticed a woman running. Yes, I know, it's weird, but I am a very active person, so looking at a woman or man, whatever, running is very interesting and entertaining, possibly, depending on who the person is. When I see someone running, I think about form, technique, how long they've been running. It's like a very long drama, if you will. Now, for the director of the film, his name is Paul Scalizio. I'm assuming he's Italian, but anyhow, I've not seen any of his last works in the past, so I have no idea what he's capable of in terms of theatre or film. But this film does seem to have a lot of subliminal messages and core issues that he does tackle throughout the film, which we will touch on a few later. Now, onto the film itself. The beginning of Britney Runs a Marathon is very quirky, and it definitely has a more dark sense of humor in the terms of there are various aspects of this film that many would not find funny at all, but if you have a very dark sense of humor, you would find them hilarious, such as I. My past career was in politics, and it was very easy for someone like me to develop a dark sense of humor. And in this film, it is very clear that the base of the comedy is going to be very dark, but I will note, however, there are specific aspects of the film, like in the beginning, where the comedy is more direct and self-deprecating, but for the majority it is dark humor. The film starts relatively slow, fed or food is readily available in your home. That stems from history in the Spanish Empire of fat or extremely overweight kings and emperors and all that. But regardless, the film sets up her personality, her friends, her family, and all that, and the above, really. Now, the main character, Britney, is actually played by a woman called Gillian Bell. She has been in several films in the past, and she's done absolutely phenomenal jobs on all of them, it seems. There are a few specific characters that hold importance to Britney's development as a character in the film, and this is one thing I actually enjoy. The film sets up Britney as this very broken individual, which is very true. I've seen individuals like her in real life, and it is something that I very much enjoy. Britney is a character that all, and I do use that word specifically in context, we all have a Britney, or we all have been Britney once in our lives. Britney is a very perturbed character, and they set her up like that specifically, and they let her grow throughout the entire film. Though many times it is very gut-wrenching to see the strife and the downfalls that she has in her life, to see her pull through and ascertain wondrous things is by far the most powerful message throughout the film. Now then, back to the main protagonists or specific characters of the film. We have Gillian Bell, who plays Britney. We have Patrick Darragh, who plays Dr. Falloway. He is a lesser character, but he plays an important role in that he tells Britney that she is very unhealthy, basically. Gretchen, who is played by Alice Lee. In the beginning of this film, Gretchen is set up as this favorable character who seems to care for Britney. I won't say much more so I don't spoil the way the film continues. The last lead character of the film is called Catherine, and she is played by Michelle Watkins. Michelle Watkins is very known throughout the comedic industry, and she has played various comedic roles, specifically a show on the Hulu series application. I'm not sure what you call it. It's very similar to Disney Plus, which I do actually advertise on this show, but not today, even though that's a quagmire because I just did that. Anyhow, Michelle Watkins is a fantastic actor, and she's done great work, and she also does fantastic work in this film as well. Oh, there is one more character, and his name is Demetrius, played by Lilo Rai Howery. I'm sorry, I actually left that in because I've never seen that type of name before. To be quite frank, I actually thought he was a American rapper, but I clicked on his profile and nope, that's just his name. Yes. Now then, on to the film. Britney runs a marathon. Very much so, at least for me, is more of a rags to riches story. I will say, however, the rags meaning poor to riches, meaning some sort of money or compensation, is definitely not present in this film. For the most part, everyone in this film is basically poor, besides Catherine and the other best mate in the film, whose name is Gretchen, played by Alice Lee. But anyhow, so the film follows Britney through her very difficult time. She is severely underemployed. Underemployed is basically when you have is in a plethora of very toxic relationships. This is noted several times throughout the film. For instance, her best mate, Gretchen, who is this very weird concoction of like an Instagram model of some sorts. She's very into self-image, trendy topics, trendy, hip clothing, fashions. I'm terribly very bad at this. I'm not very hip or trendy or into the Instagram. I do apologize if I do sound like a very old person who knows nothing of trendy things or hip things. I'm doing it again. Anyhow, moving on, all of these toxic relationships and her chronic unemployment changes when she visits the doctor. Now, to give you some context, Britney visits this doctor because she is told that this doctor is rather privy to giving his patients Adderall when they are, or at least when he is told that they are having issues with concentration, they are having issues with a lack of sleep or too much sleep. I honestly can't remember what she said, but the point is, this particular appointment does not go the way she expected it to. The doctor tells her that she is morbidly obese. Now, for me, that was a wee bit of a stretch, but she was definitely unhealthy, and she could change her health habits to live a much more fuller and happy life. There was no pun intended, I just happened to use that term, sorry. As stated, the appointment or attempt to receive Adderall went terribly, and now Britney is faced with the dilemma that she is morbidly obese, too broke to pay for a gym, and much too proud to ask for help. Britney is at a loss. Her seemingly together neighbor, Catherine, played by Michelle Watkins, pushes her to lace up her Converse, which are sneakers if you're unfamiliar. They were very popular during the 1990s and early 2000s. Anyhow, she tells her to lace up her Converse sneakers and run the block. Now, believe it or not, this was actually shown in the film, and it was absolutely hilarious. I know it's very poor taste to laugh at another's misfortunes, but comedy is comedy. Britney was hardly able to walk down the block, let alone jog. There's a specific scene in which Britney is trying to run as hard as she can, and two people pass her walking, as bad as it may seem. I laughed incredibly hard. That was absolutely hilarious. As I stated, the comedy in the film is golden. It truly is. You will laugh no matter who you are. However, there were specific times in which I felt genuinely bad, or simply just uncomfortable. There is so many scenes in which Britney self-deprecates, and she makes herself seem like she is complete trash. And it truly does bother me. It is so awkward, and it is so demeaning that I do feel very uncomfortable. I will say, however, this has a lot less to do with the film and more to do with the acting. Not to say that the acting is bad. She simply does a fantastic job really bringing out Britney's emotions at the time. And it is truly brilliant to watch, absolutely captivating, though I did want to look away because it was very nauseating, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Now, as the film progresses, we start to see Britney really noticing the way she is how she leads a very toxic lifestyle. The excessive drinking, the excessive drugs, the ridiculous, horrid unemployment, and the fact that, in no uncertain truth, all of her friends don't give a damn about her, and as such, you will realize that there's always a sense of an underlying sadness throughout the whole film. And it is something that will honestly touch you, and you will feel pity and sad for this person, which definitely adds to the strength of the film. And as she realizes that all of these things are very toxic, she begins to change her life slowly, periodically, and methodically. She ends the toxic relationships she has with her best mates. She gains new best mates that are actually mates who care about her well-being, and her actual person. She develops new relationships with this very odd, annoying Indian man, but in his own way, he's very funny. She gains a new love for exercise, diet, and being free. And overall, she turns her entire life around. Now, this film would not be a Sundance Award winner without a curveball. And I will not say what that curveball is here, because I do not really like spoilers. After the curveball, Britney is faced with a huge dilemma, and it breaks her. Now, I believe the film fast forwards a year and some change, and we see Britney in the present, and she is slightly gone back to her old ways, and it is sad to see someone go so far, go through so much, and change, but be in so much pain internally in her heart and mind and spirit. But one day she just up and changes her mind, and now she wants to go through with the marathon. After all, the film is called Britney Runs a Marathon. That is where the film goes through the climactic end, and the ending is extraordinarily powerful, so I won't spoil it, but I will spoil it. Britney runs the marathon. The marathon, however, is very methodical, and it is very scenic, and it shows Britney going through her entire life, and it shows her conquests and mistrials. It shows all the hardships that she has gone through in her life, and it also shows all the happy portions in her life, her friends, her family, her lovers, and it's very beautiful to see all the horrid and the beauty and see them come together, and it truly is wondrous. But this is where our episode of my review of the film called Britney Runs a Marathon comes to an end. Wow, this is almost 20 minutes long. I had no idea I'd be talking about this film for so long. Anyhow, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. This is Jay, signing off, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of ASMR.